Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jerry Sansing with another edition of What's Going On in Corpus Christi. This is essentially the Taxpayers Association show. I am the president of Corpus Christi Taxpayers Association, and we've got a lot to talk about around here, especially some of our taxing entities. Anyway, there's the banner, there's the times. It's Tuesday night at 8 p.m. now, after December the 3rd. Or December the 1st, I guess it was, and then Thursday at 10 p.m. And then I'll give you the times for the Channel 18 sometimes in the mornings. You know, we've got a real new deal is what I'm trying to say. All right, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to put up some banners and talk for a minute, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, I've used this on the air several times. I know it's a bit graphic, but there you are, taxpayers. You get stuck holding the bag every time. I think that pachyderm and that bag pretty well explain what we have to put up with here in Corpus Christi, Texas, with a lot of these entities around here, the county and the city, Del Mar College, and I could name some other CCISD, but we're being dumped on at all moments around here, so just wanted to go ahead and show you that for a second, and then I will proceed on. Okay, I just wanted to show you this. I'm sorry about the glare. It's coming off my lights over here. That's an older sign. It's a little bit beat up, but this was 2016 bond elections, and I solicited not to have this thing done. I'll go down. You can see that it was paid for by me and some other people, and this is what's going to be the topic at the end of this show, is when you start things like this and you try to be a prudent taxpayer, then some of these rich people and some of these organizations around town are going to try to screw you over, and I'll explain that in a short time, so I'll be right back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, looks like the lights are on and the camera's rolling. This is November the 22nd. Which is a Friday. And I'm going to go take my spot over here. Like I say, I'm a one-man show, so I just do the best I can. And I hope that these shrimp plants show up well. They're beautiful. These are dedicated to my dear deceased wife, Miss Lynn, my dear mother, who's deceased now, Miss Connie, and to a very special person that I care an awful lot for, Miss April 23. And we'll just see what we can do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start this. This is the What's Happening in Corpus Christi. It's November the 22nd, 2019. I just want to give you a little history so you can understand why I'm a little bit concerned about the my employer. Since 1989, 30 years ago plus, I joined the faculty at Del Mar College here in Corpus Christi, Texas. I was hired to teach predominantly microbiology. I can teach the chemistries, all of them. I can teach all the biologies with my advanced degrees in different things, and my experience in research business and pharmaceutical business with toxicology, microbiology, antibiotic development, and so forth. So when I wanted to see my kids more than once a week in the daylight, then my bride, Miss Lynn, who was a professor at Del Mar College in reading for a while before she passed away, unfortunately, then we came down to Corpus Christi, Texas with two young kids, and I've been here for 30 years this past August, so it's 30 years plus, okay? I've taught thousands of students. I see them in the hospitals all the time. I do a lot of the allied health teaching with as far as the micro went and the chemistry at times, and the anatomy and physiology classes. So I've had thousands of students, and I can't go through any hospital, medical facility, dental facility around here without having old folks in Old Home Week. Okay. Now, I'd like to discuss some stuff at Del Mar College. I do not hold back. I am the president of the Corpus Christi Taxpayers Association. Okay, I have been for several years now. I had some real good instructors with that, one Joe O'Brien and Jack Gordy and some other people that have been of great benefit to me and the taxpayers. Now, my allegiance is to the students at Del Mar College and the taxpayers of the Del Mar College district. Okay? All right. And then I would like to think that I uphold the standards of the CCISD and several others around here. And I'll talk about some of my activities that have gotten me into trouble around here lately. Okay? Not trouble. It's nothing I can't handle, folks. Okay? I'm the son of one big ass-kicking, highly decorated fighter pilot who flew Second World War, Korea, and Vietnam. So, if you want to mess around, then let's get it done. Okay, now, the first thing that galls me is I have been extremely vocal since the 2016 bond elections, and we do not need, and I can prove that, the Southside campus that everybody around here of substance and so forth, the money boys and gals, the ones that can rape and pillage and make a lot of money. I have been, I guess, a fly in their ointment, but I've raised so much hell. This was since 2016 on that bond election. Then this was the Foghorn, which is the Del Mar College paper. They claim that it is the official college paper of Del Mar College. Okay, and let's see, a Del Mar College student publication, Foghorn News. Okay. Now, since that time, this is the October 21st edition of the Foghorn News, okay? And I'm going to show you this. I don't know if you can see it, but there's an editorial in here since this is a student newspaper, and it says, Southside campus is a waste of money. When one thinks of Del Mar College, their mind probably first goes to the East Campus where the Harbin Center, White Library, and Richardson Auditorium reside. Aside from our West Campus and CED, that's the Center for Economic Development building, many students don't even know we have a Del Mar building in Cal Allen, which we do. Okay, then we've got that campus out there. In 2018, voters approved a $139 million bond package to create a Southside campus for future Del Mar College students. Now that was actually the bond that you people approved in for the 2016 bond. Okay. Now here we got, and then they've got this picture of the president, Mark Escamilla. If you build it, they will come. Okay. Now that's bovine excrement. Okay, and then it says Field of Dreams. So it's got a picture, I think it was Kevin Costner who played in that lead. And then we have a cornfield that's kind of done in. There's a big full moon. And then we've got the little Viking sitting there. It says Southside Campus. And this is Field of Dreams. Now I'm going to try to show this to you. Okay, and I hope you can see this. But that has got to be one of the biggest pokes in the eye of Del Mar College in recent history. And this is the editorial. This is students speaking, folks. Okay? And students, many of them are taxpayers around here. So they go through this and say, we really don't need this Southside campus. And I can prove to you in a moment that that is true. Okay? But that's the student paper. So Del Mar gets upset that I've been preaching that for a long time. And I am responsible as far as Del Mar College is concerned, and many of the Board of Regents members, in having stuff like that published. Because I am the Taxpayers Association president, and I've got a lot of backing from the taxpayers around here that says, we've had enough. We're not going to serve the special interest of all the rich folks around here and get them to be richer. And I'll discuss that in a minute. Then this one came out, let's see. What was the date on this one? November the 4th of this year. Okay. Now another thing that the people at Del Mar College have been preaching is we need to build dormitories so that we can get a bunch of students in here that live in dorms in the slum area over here on East Campus. Okay. and then we can boost our enrollment. And I'll discuss enrollment in a minute. But it says here, Del Mar College, or DMC, seeks feedback on dorm proposals. So what they did was they inherited a tract of land across the street from East Campus. Okay, it's behind the old HEB store that's used for Del Mar College for business and procurement, purchasing, and all that good stuff. Pardon me, I'm dry. Okay, so they were going to build a dorm over there, and now they're thinking about taking a building that is defunct. It's an abortion, and I won't talk about my dealing with the mold problems they have over there, and they don't think I know diddly crap about mold, much to their dismay. Okay, so I've stirred it. Now, that dorm proposal is ludicrous, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to need to do that, but we have these people over there on the, like Dr. Rito Silva, okay, Vice President of Student Affairs, told Regents that dormitories would help the college recruit outside of its service area, reduce time of completion for students, and enhance the collegiate experience, etc., etc., etc. More bovine excrement. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to float some money bonds to have somebody go over there and make a whole bunch of money by putting in dorms, which will probably go down the tubes financially. Okay. Now, we were told back in 2014 when you people approved that bond to build a new music building, and I guess it's college classrooms or something like that. Okay, and that place is an abortion. It's been late. We had a total fiasco this past fall registration because they did not complete that on time. Okay, we had one of our board members who was the president of the board for several years, who wound up being employed by the people that got the contract to oversee the contracting of that building. And it's usually, 1.5 or 1.67% that you get out of doing things like that. And I think that company that was instituted and voted in by our former chair of the Board of Regents, Mr. Trey McCampbell, okay, and I think they're up around 4% is what they get, which is outrageous. It's a ripoff, okay. Now, and the people that are responsible for having certain companies voted in and get contracts over there should not have the burden of being one of the Del Mar College Board of Regents members, and that he's not the only one. That was Mr. Trey McCampbell. So sue me, Trey. Okay, I'm ready. All right, now, then if I look into the Del Mar College numbers, we were told back in 2014 and then again in 2016 that what we needed was we were running out of classroom space. We're bursting at the seams with students coming in, and that we needed to spend, $300 million plus dollars, probably $500 million or 600, million or better, to build new buildings that we can't finish on time and that we do not need. Okay? So I've proven in the past that since 1992, Del Mar College has not had a significant increase in students. And I've been very vocal about that. And that has perturbed the Del Mar College Board of Regents members, all the high rollers, the multi-millionaire builders and contractors around here, and consequently all the way down through my department chair, who has no spine, okay, no spine at all. That's his name as an alcohol and a chemist, to throw the money at this. Okay, so you taxpayers out there, including me, have been duped. Now the full-time enrollment students, okay, equivalent students, okay, I've got it here from 2009. I didn't go back to 1992. But what we had with the full-time equivalent students, that means the ones that go to campus, not all of these dual credit students that are out here at the high schools and not learning a hell of a lot about anything, okay. and then they come over to campus and they can't cut the courses with the prudent professors. Not many of them, some of them do. But here's 2009, the trend from 2009. The FTES, okay, full-time equivalent students in 2009 was 7,804. We jumped up to 8,399 in 2010. It increased again a little bit in 2011 to 8,471. Then it dropped in 2012 to 8,295. It took a big dip in 2013 down to 7,648. A little bit better dip, okay, for the 2014 bond when we were just having, exploding with students on campus and so forth. It dropped to 7,262. Then in 2015 it dropped to 7,096. And then until 2016, when we had this big burst and we're bursting at the seams and we need to build a campus out on the south end of town for 15 to 20,000 students in addition to the campuses that we've got, it jumped all the way to 7,395. In 2017, it was up to 7,816. It dropped in 2018 to 7,581. And then when we look at 2019, that the fall of this year, it was 7,767. Now, that vast increase over 2009 from 7,804 to 7,767, we've got millions and millions of dollars over there tied up for building Southside campus. Okay? Now, another thing in the paper, I just want to say that I've had some real good students. I do the allied health, folks. You know, I've not only got the pre-nursings, but I've got surge tech, respiratory tech, dental hygiene, and an awful lot of students. So tell them hi when you go into the medical and dental and so forth facilities for me, okay? And then they'll tell you that I was such a tyrant and I just really was the worst professor they've ever had in their life. And that's according to Del Mar College these days. Del Mar's 50th years isn't long in the tooth. That means that for 50 years they've had a very fine program over there in dental hygiene, and that goes with the dental assisting and so forth and so on, all the radiology studies and so forth and so on. Then we've had one of the premier nursing programs, the registered nursing programs in the state, along with respiratory tech and surgical tech and occupational tech and all the other techs that I had and had the students in my microbiology classes as sophomore students. Okay, now what the Del Mar College, some of the board members, not all of them, but we've got this some new administrators over there that are working to provide the community with a bachelor's in a degree in nursing, a BSN program. Now that was presented to the board the last few times, and it's such a pain in the neck, and it's going to be such an expensive thing that they have tabled that program. Okay, now I have been at odds with that nursing program for several years since they went ahead and decided that they would go ahead and fire one of the best that I've ever met, okay, a PhD, a nursing instructor at Del Mar College, okay, Dr. Janelle Bennett. And they put her through absolute hell to the point where they had 3 students that were saying that she wasn't worth a damn. And then we've got people that don't like the fact that some people are professionals over there. And it started years ago when they started firing people that would speak up and say something truthful about Del Mar College. Now this administration, as run by one Dr. Mark Escamilla these days, is probably one of the poorest that I've ever seen in my life. And I've been around the horn many times, folks. I've seen some of the best research people, educators, and so forth and so on the face of this planet. And I have never seen anything that is as much an abortion as Del Mar College is these days. All right, so here's what I need to explain to you. Okay? Once you get a reputation over there for not complaining but pointing out the deficiencies over here, then what happens is the administration is going to go after you with the blessings of many of the Del Mar College Board of Regents members, which are your elected officials that are squandering all of this damn money on things like the Southside campus. Our custodial service over there is minimal. I've got a good custodian in our building. I really do care an awful lot for him. He hasn't had but a 5-cent raise in salary per hour in the last 5 or 6, 7 years, and he's paid minimum wage and is not there full time. Now, when Dr. Escamilla got here, the custodial service, he bragged on all of those people, said they were his best buddies because he grew up with their parents or with the kids of the custodians on West Campus, and then he turns around and fires the whole damn crowd, including the groundskeepers. And then he hires the people back at lower wages to be a porter over there. Okay? I'll get into that later. But anyway, here's the reason that people are after me at this stage of the game. Back several years, many years ago, there was an energy company out of Houston, okay, that wanted to come down here and build what they call Las Brisas Energy Center and pollute a bunch of people and so forth. I was asked by several of the taxpayers around here if I would chair what was called the Clean Economy Coalition and see if we could prevent Las Brisas Energy Center from being built right down here in downtown Corpus Christi and using petroleum coke from the refineries to kill a bunch of people. Okay? It's very dangerous stuff. So I spent probably 6 years of my life, along with at least 50 to 60 very dedicated taxpayers around here. Then we finally convinced the state that Las Brisas Energy Center should not come in. Okay? Now, the energy company out of Houston, okay, had a public relations person that was a professional public relations person that went around trying to convince everybody around this area and up to and including all of the people that were going to be polluted into oblivion north of us with our southeast winds prevailing. Okay, and her name was Carol Scott. She pressed that. And then Mark Scott was on her husband was on the board down here, the city council. He voted for the tax abatement for Las Brisas Energy. It took me a long time to convince people that Chase Energy was the major company and Carol Scott not to do that, so it did not get built, thanks to the efforts of the Clean Economy Coalition, all 50 of us or better. Okay? All right. Now Carol Scott is the president or the chair of the Del Mar College Board of Regents. So she has an axe to grind with me. Then we've got another one that I talked about, Trey McCampbell. He's the one that's making a fortune over there with the contractors that are putting up not only the buildings that we've got going up on East Campus, which have been delayed because they screwed it up. Okay, and he's going to have the company that's been designated to take over the Southside campus. Now, years ago, he wanted to take down, and I heard the people that were in the room when it was said that the president of the American Bank had told Mr. Trey McCampbell, who was a vice president at the time, to get that Memorial Coliseum torn down, and we're going to go ahead and go for a $44 million bond from you fine folks to build shade down there after we tear an architecturally significant award-winning building down, 1 acre roughly of shade, and put up more stuff at taxpayers' expense because they did not want that building down there, which had been a venue for many, many things for years, the Memorial Coliseum. Then they didn't want competition with the American Bank Center. vice president of American Bank. Okay, so I put out the word and I put out the signs, no destination Bayfront. Consequently, that was not done. I was part of the Friends of the Memorial Coliseum, and the city's still agitating things and saying I owe them a bunch of money because we delayed the demolition of that, trying to get it to be registered as a historically significant building since it was award-winning. Okay, now who was in charge of the destination Bayfront? Mr. Trey McCampbell. Okay, is it starting to add up to you now? Carlos Valdez was part of that. I put out the no Carlos Valdez signs, and he lost one city, political problem, and I can't believe now that he's a judge down here in town. It just makes me sick. Okay, so consequently, they're putting the pressure on Dr. Escamilla, and he doesn't like it because I say, here, for $3 million, what are you doing except screwing up Del Mar College? Okay, and I sincerely believe that. Okay, and the Board of Regents members, many of them don't like me because I'm picking on them, I guess, and exposing them for what they are. Now, here's what the bottom line is. I have had a single student complain about me. That student was not passing the class, okay, and that student would not shut the hell up, so I used a little adage that I've used for 30 years and said I'm going to get the biggest, tallest, meanest guy in here, and I'm going to throw him out. Although he's making an A, I didn't particularly single one out, but I said I'm going to have him go out and get the axe handle out of my car and meet you in the hall. Maybe that'll shut you up. Now, I have a freedom of expression and have academic freedom in my class, and it's called freedom of speech. So on that one instance, my chair and the dean have knuckled into the pressure of a vice president of instruction, or the chief academic officer, CAO, who got fired from the College of the Mainland up in Galveston area for shenanigans that she pulled. She's now hired here. The human resources here is a joke at Del Mar College, and I'll go through that. So now we've got my chair and the dean don't like it since I point some flaws out in some of the, quote, research activities of people over there at Del Mar College. Okay, and then we've got a $250,000 greenhouse that's sitting over there with nothing in it because of these wonderful grants that my dean and my department chair are pushing. So I wish I had more time. I'm down to about a minute left, but I do want to tell you that I am being reprimanded. I'm going to probably have a dismissal hearing soon, like they did with Dr. Bennett. It'll be another kangaroo court and so forth, but I want you to know about that. So as I go back to the camera and get ready to turn it down, then you have my email address, which is gsansing@gmail.com. So if you've got any information for me, please let me know. And all hell's breaking loose over there at Del Mar. I do not give up. Okay, like I say, both sides of my family were fighting redcoats in the Revolutionary War, so they're just going to have to bite the bullet with that. I'm going to show you these shrimp plants one more time, and I'll be through.